Hi guys, this is Mrs. Gassler. We're going to be talking about volume units in this video. Go ahead and get your handy dandy Cornell note paper and we'll get started. So here's our Cornell paper. We'll be talking about Objective 5, volume units. Over here in this little corner, that is where you're going to write your name, your class period, and today's date. Now let's get our essential question up. How are cubic centimeters and milliliters related? So let's review just a tiny bit. You just did a lab where you were comparing, or where you measured the volume of a cylinder by taking a ruler and measuring its pieces and then using math formulas to find the volume, and then you found its volume by putting it into water in a graduated cylinder and measuring the change in volume. That's called volume replacement. And then you made a graph of centimeters cubed to milliliters, and to be honest, if you switch those, it's not a big deal. And hopefully you got something that looked like this. Maybe you had dots that weren't exactly on the line, but for the most part it was a straight line. That's what you should get. Now the slope of that line, oops, 2 fingers instead of 1. The slope of that line is what's important here. The slope of that line, which remember in math class is simply the rise over the run, is a very valuable piece of information here. So let's look at the rise. The rise would be this way. That's your rise, and that's on the centimeters cubed side, so we'll put centimeters cubed there. And the run is going this way. That's along the x-axis, and over there we have milliliters, so milliliters is our run. So if we think about what this means, centimeters cubed over milliliters, another way to say that line in the middle is per, centimeters cubed per milliliters. So what the slope is telling us is how many centimeters cubed are in a milliliter. Now if you were very careful, you probably found that your slope was pretty much 1 centimeter cubed per milliliter. That is very important information right there, so I'm going to put some little stars by it and circle it. Yeah, that's super important right there. It tells us that 1 centimeter cubed equals 1 milliliter. You see how those numbers are the same? Those two units of measurement are the same. They are what we call interchangeable. You do not have to do any sort of calculation to get from one to the next. It's super easy. If you have 50,286 centimeters cubed, then you have 50,286 milliliters. They're interchangeable. Now in science class we tend to use this one for solids, often regular solids, and we use this one for liquids. So if anybody asks you which one should you use, you can base it off of that, solids and liquids. Gases also, we use gases with milliliters. Solids we can often measure using a formula and a ruler, and so we would measure them in centimeters cubed. Sometimes we can't. Sometimes we have to do that water displacement because it's a rock or something, and so we end up measuring it in milliliters. But the nice thing is they're the same, so you can just switch the unit out and it's not a big deal at all. So this is Cornell paper. Make sure that when you're finished here that you fill out some questions there. I think you need at least 2, and then your summary down here at the bottom, and that's it for comparing volume units. Thanks for watching.